back to Storytime with Dave Booker. We're going to continue on with Gods and More Gods today. We are getting so close to the end, it's kind of a shame. Let me see where we left off last time. Hold on one second. It was 3. Here we go. No, we already did that one. Becoming conjecture. Here it is, tribunal. So, you ready? Let's do it. Karen and Fred were standing before their OverGod and the Universal God. Karen was in a sense on trial for continually interfering in Fred's term of office. The Universal God gave his opening statement. Karen, you stand before us on the charge of meddlesome intrusive attacks during another OverGod's term of office. This interference was performed with the intent of causing said OverGod to fail in their mission. You are also charged with causing death to humans through that interference. You started out with the same prospects as Fred. It is what you have chosen to do with these prospects that is under consideration as to your future. Having been present at your creation, I know that you have allowed your anger to permeate your spirit to the point that you have nothing left but anger. Karen had been standing impatiently. Well, since you know all my past can read into my spirit, then you've already condemned me. Just tell me what punishment I'm getting and let's be done with it. The Universal God turned to Fred. Fred, do you have anything to say either for or against the accused? Fred was not prepared to answer. He hadn't thought he would be called on for his opinion as to his own sister. She looked at him disgusted by his hesitancy. To her, his benevolence was his greatest weakness, as she considered her malevolence to be her greatest strength. He turned to Karen to apologize. In his mind, this was all about not giving her his damn beer, and that was what had started it all. His actions from eons ago had led to this point. Karen knew her brother and knew exactly what he was going to say. She held up a hand to stop him. You are such an idiot. You were going to apologize for not giving me the damn teddy bear, weren't you? Fred nodded. See, you still think this whole thing started over that damn bear. I have loved torturing your little soul about that. Fred, I'm the way I am because of that. She pointed to the Universal God. You didn't scrub my memory very well. I know that we were split from one person. Our name was Comrade, and we were the first to be created. Then you got into your head to split us into good and evil. You wanted to see which was the stronger emotion, therefore better able to lead. Hell, all your wisdom couldn't tell you that? You had to split me in two and limit me to one concept, that of evil. So is it my fault I embraced it? Is it my fault that I acted according to the limitations that you yourself set? For the first few years, I was fine since the evil side in me hadn't fully developed. Yeah, it took the bear to set me off, and when it did, it consumed me. She paused to catch her breath. Her anger was such that she had been spiritually stronger. She could have obliterated all of them. The Universal God took on a human form. As before, he looked like a prosperous banker. He wanted to show the emotions he felt. He felt regret and ashamed. Your points are well put, and in a sense I am partly to blame, but I want to explain something. When I separated you and Comrade became Fred and Karen, I told you that one of you was good and the other evil. The fact is, I merely split Comrade in two. Nothing more was done, save that I thought I had scrubbed your memories. You, Karen, were never the embodiment of evil, just as Fred was never the embodiment of good. I was curious to see how the suggestion would take hold. I've seen Fred's evil side while you were on your tour of duty for the first 100 iterations. He was jealous that you were chosen to rule first. He raged that you were able to create all the spirits that would be forever linked with the earth. His anger almost consumed him. Had it not been for spending time in the club, there he was able to purge himself by speaking to Bertolt. Bertolt, like all good bartenders, is a bit of a psychologist. He and Fred became friends, and eventually Fred calmed down and chose the path of benevolence. Whether or not he thought that he was the embodiment of good did not prevent him from becoming evil for a time. The choice was his which path he followed, as it was for you. Karen simply said that you two were split into good and evil. Beg your pardon, Karen, I simply said that you two were split into good and evil. I never said who got which, nor did I place good or evil in your spirit. Those emotions are there equally no matter what. We all have the capacity to become wholly good or evil? Is what we choose that defines us. For some reason, you took it as a matter of faith that you had the evil side. Yes, the incident with the teddy bear was what brought anger into your spirit. Much as Fred was willing to trade, but you preferred to hold on to your anger, to embrace it. You allowed your anger to become you, to define who and what you were. The test, as is the case with most tests, was not what you thought it was. The test was to see if you could rise above what you were told. Could you balance the good and evil within yourself and use the strength that both give to accomplish miracles? Fred made his choice to strive for balance. You chose to weigh the scales on one side only. Yes, you made your choice and never strove for balance. Now it's time for the decision as to your fate. He stared into Kieran's spirit and saw remorse and pain. He saw that change was possible yet. Kieran, I give you this choice. You can become a spirit and dwell with the spirits you created to be one of them for all time. Or you can restart as a god where your better half can develop. To receive reverence, you must learn benevolence. Planet Oberon in the Syntac Galaxy is requesting I send them a god. I think it might be a good opportunity for you. Which challenge will you accept? Karen felt faint. All this time she could have changed. She could have chosen another path. The anger, pain, this evil that consumed her could be purged. She could become a whole person again. She could become the person she should have been from the start. She turned to face the Universal God. I choose to be changed to a god and to dwell with those on Oberon. The Universal God smiled and allowed Fred and Karen to embrace before he sent her to a new assignment. Once she was gone, they turned to Fred. My friend, your challenge is still ongoing. I'll send you back to your office so that you can oversee the outcome. Your new gods are performing well, and I look forward to seeing what happens on the second Earth. But it is traditional that you will need an overgod to rule with you. Fred was going to nominate Dionysus when he was forestalled by that god's appearance. Dionysus, your care and concern for the people of Earth is on a level with Fred's. You are willing to risk all, not only on Fred's behalf, but for the people of Earth. Such dedication cannot go unrewarded. The Universal Council agreed that you be promoted from God to OverGod with the rights, privileges, and obligations that come with the position. Dionysus was bathed in light and power. When the light faded, he was filled with more power than he'd ever experienced. He had knowledge, a galactic consciousness that brought everything into focus. Fred looked at his lifelong friend, worried that his promotion might change him. The Universal God asked where they would like to be sent. Dionysus put an arm around Fred. Send us to the club first, please. I want to tell Bertle I moved up the food chain. Oh, I also just thought of a joke. I bet he hasn't heard. Fred was relieved his friend wasn't altered. They were sent to the club to celebrate. While Fred, Dionysus, and Bertle celebrated Dio's success, things were progressing quickly on Earth. Larry's newest continent was being peopled from all the other continents. Shipping was coming and going with supplies and materials to create buildings and the main superstructure for the spacecraft. At night, they could see the other Earth in the far horizon. It'll still be many hundreds of years before the conjunction, but they wanted to be ready. Gladys headed on to Larry's continent, where a massive school could be constructed to house and train those who would fly the ship and teach basic survival for those who would emigrate. Okay, that's it for today. Problems is the next one. And then word gets around and worries galore. And I think this one, the second chance, is the end of time again. So we've got about 4 or 5 more chapters left. Then we're done with this. I just put out today Soul Man, the shoe salesman that turns into a superhero, or not superhero, but crime-finding detective. So by the time we're done with this, we'll probably be ready to begin that. The book should be out and published. So I look forward to sharing that with you and hope you'll be returning for that. It's probably one of the most bizarre books I've ever written, and I love it. So I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to reading this to you and to hearing your responses. If you please put some out. So be good to yourself. Take care. And I hope to see you again on the next reading. Bye.